if barefaced was a person.
Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for rent to own? You can imagine the government builds some houses, you rent a couple of them. That rent is equivalent to the mortgage.
Blessings, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. And in this one, when I tell you that Jamaica chose poison over medicine, they thought that they were getting medicine to remedy whatever displeasure they said they had. But instead, they chose poison. And I will show you some footages in order to support this message that I'm bringing forth. And so when we look yesterday in a swearing ceremony of an uncertified man who is said to be the Prime Minister once more in our country, it bothers me. When I look at all the scandals surrounding this administration, it bothers me. And then when I look at a 6-year-old case just going up for trial and some 14, 15 persons missing, as they stated, who are a part of the witnesses, it bothers me. And then when I look in this swearing ceremony and I look and I see a royal read, it bothers me. And I keep asking, can anyone be so barefaced? Can anyone be so nonchalant, lackadaisical, playing in the faces of well-thinking and upstanding Jamaicans? $50 million fraud at the Caribbean Maritime University. 5 persons in connection with that. And we see this former senator, we see this former minister of education presenting himself at a swearing-in ceremony. No more bare face and dry eye than this. But then they want to hold on pana Jean and Pantan and telling us that is Jean and Pantan alone thief or swindled 5 billion Jamaican dollars? They really want to look in our faces and tell us that? When 5 persons in connection with $50 million and they want to tell us that Jean and Pantan alone must be behind bars for $5 billion. Jamaica is not a real place when it comes on to corruption and the corrupted. Now, me there sit down and wait, for them to bring in the Paula Llewellyn 2.0, I see somebody commented in the comment section. And even though it's not a laughing matter, I had to chuckle a bit. Because we are waiting to see them bring in the Paula Llewellyn 2.0. Because enough of them, as we stated yesterday in the comment section of the video that I uploaded, nothing come out of it. Nothing at all. I strongly believe that too. But then I want you to, take a look at the small clipping that I have. And then I have a gentleman who basically questioning the mindset of the Jamaican people and asking them why wouldn't they have voted for a People's National Party, the plans and policies laid out. Some will look at it as basically handout. But why can't the people of our country benefit from all the taxes that this government are basically taking from them? Why can't the people get some form of benefit? Why can't the laws be flexed a bit so that the common man can benefit? Right? This administration collects more taxes than any other administration, but we see that the Jamaicans prefer them to thief it, prefer them to steal it than to give back or to flex the laws a bit for other Jamaicans to benefit. But I want you to listen to the entire video. Remember, if you're new, please to subscribe, like up the videos, and share them out.
Big up on yourself wherever in the world you are. Now, I wrote this quote years ago that says, if you listen to a liar lie to you long enough, you will start mistaking poison for medicine. In other words, if you listen to someone lying to you long enough, you'll become their biggest believer. Now, I follow a lot of people on a lot of different platforms, including support of the Jamaica Labour Party. You know, and I've listened to their platforms a lot of times, and I have made no comment. I don't involve, I just listen, and then I move on. Now, the topic of my little short video here is, why wouldn't you? And the first one that catch me in the manifesto, you know, I tried to go through the manifesto as much as I could, and the first thing that caught my attention, well, not the first thing, but the few stuff that really jumps out at me is, one is the income tax threshold on 3.5 million and less. No, I think they think the tax rate right now is 25%. Don't quote me on that. But if it's 25%, that's over $875,000 a year that would come out of your salary. If you divide that in 12, that's 70-something thousand dollars. You see it back every month. That's more than the average person income a month time. Right? So why wouldn't you vote for that? The next one is removing taxes on overtime pay. Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for the Eats program that would provide lunch, a warm lunch for every child, and that will extend into breakfast later on? Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for the Young People Depository Fund, that if you're under 45, you get a $500,000 towards buying a house? Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for land reformation? Presently, it's at 60 years before you can get a title for a land that you've been living on. The People's National Party is saying, hey, we are going to bring it down to 25 years. Before you, and then after 25 years, you can now get a title for that land that you've been sitting on for decades. Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for rent to own? You can imagine the government builds some houses, you rent a couple of them. That rent is equivalent to the mortgage, and after a while that mortgage will be converted, 6 months to be exact. That's what that was proposed. 6 months, that mortgage, that rent will be converted to a mortgage. Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for the student loan moratorium for 3 years? Why wouldn't you vote for that? Why wouldn't you vote for First in Family Scholarship? Why wouldn't you vote for that? Now, why wouldn't you vote for, I don't remember the name of this one, but the Disability Fund? That one hit home for me because I've worked with people who are visually impaired for years, and I've seen a lot of things happen. Why wouldn't you vote for that? People, you lose a limb, there's going to be a fund to assist you to get prosthesis. Why wouldn't you vote for that?
But when I tell you that the selfish mentality have them, man, lock them up, wrap them up, them will never get away. A Bustamante still lives on today in the minds and the hearts of the people who chose poison instead of medicine that could have remedied the problems that they're having. What says you, ABR family? Drop your honest opinion in the comment section. Me wanna say. Let us continue the discussion in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 50k. Help me to get there. Get this video to at least 7,000 likes. Please and thanks. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself. Happy Wednesday.